According to the Economic Research Service of the United States Department of Agriculture, retail sales of alcoholic beverages totaled approximately $115.9 billion in 2003, up from $102.4 billion in 2000. Beer sales make up the greatest proportion of retail sales of alcoholic beverages, distilled spirits make up the second greatest proportion, and wine is the third.
I think it's an ongoing problem. It's not just a problem now. I guess I would say it's an issue. I think it's an issue that needs to be explored at the K-12 and beyond. And again, it goes back to some of the society and some of the pressures of growing up and natural wanting to experiment and that sort of thing. So I think it's an issue that has been prevalent for years.
During the past month, 26.4% of underage people ages 12 to 20 used alcohol.
Most teens report that alcohol is easy to get, including 61% of 8th graders, 80% of sophomores, and 90% of seniors.
Alcohol use remains extremely widespread among today's teenagers. Nearly 3/4 of students have consumed alcohol by the end of high school, and more than 1/3 have done so by 8th grade.
About 1,900 people under 21 die every year from car crashes due to irresponsible underage drinking.
In a recent survey that was taken by Ms. Dachs' 5th hour class, it was concluded that 89% thought there was a problem with underage and irresponsible teen drinking. Of the same class, 94% of the students thought it was easy to obtain or to get alcohol. Irresponsible teen drinking has become a growing problem in our society today. One solution to this issue would be to lower the drinking age to 18.
But I think we all, unfortunately, think we're invincible, so sometimes it's just through life lessons and processes that sometimes we come to that conclusion on our own.
The National Youth Rights Association believes that lowering the drinking age, along with a more acceptance to moderate drinking for younger people, will reduce the forbidden fruit phenomena. Rather than teach young people about the many uses and abuses of alcohol, current law and policy dictates that alcohol is an inherently evil substance and only total abstinence from alcohol can be preached. While abstinence from alcohol is a totally acceptable option, it should never eliminate the need for open and honest discussion for education about drinking. Just like any activity, drinking responsibly is a process that someone has to learn, and currently we deny this to millions of young Americans. Rather than a gradual introduction for teens to moderately drink, the current attitude says that a person shouldn't have a drop of alcohol until their 21st birthday, and at that time it is perfectly fine to consume 21 shots of hard liquor. This is like preventing someone from learning to drive and then handing them the keys on their 16th birthday with the instructions to have fun. This policy is dangerous and very unrealistic.
No, I don't think it's fair that my country allows me to make the decision to fight for it, and I'm not able to enjoy myself while I'm overseas, while I'm fighting for my country and being able to consume alcohol.
Do you think that the drinking age should be lowered to 18?
Yeah, With me fighting for my country, I feel like I'm taking on greater responsibility than it would be being the drinking age being lowered. So.
My name's Hallie, and I will be 18 by the next election, and I plan on voting. If I can make the decision that affects my entire country, I should be able to make the decision that would affect my life. And I think the drinking age should be moved to 18.
The National Youth Rights Association has come up with 3 keys to make the drinking age 18 successful. The first is from an early age to learn how to moderately drink. The second is to view abstaining alcohol and drinking in moderation to be 2 equally acceptable choices. And lastly, to not view alcohol as a dangerous drug to be avoided, nor as a magic potion that can solve all your problems.
Another solution to this problem would be to create harsher punishments for those who decide to partake in drinking. Alcohol creates plenty of unnecessary, avoidable issues inside of the teenage brain. According to Danielle Tandock, an anatomy teacher at Okemos High School, the effects are way too serious to overlook.
Alright, effects on the immature brain of alcohol has a couple different things. One is alcohol causes neuroscience to commit suicide. Because they then commit suicide, then you end up getting a tiny spaces, or what are called ventricles, inside of the brain. And so then you have a smaller brain and less amount of nerves that can then allow for information to travel. The brain does not fully form until your frontal lobe specifically does not fully form until you're 25, and since that's where the main effect of alcohol is, you are affecting your problem solving, your ability to make decisions, and all of that.
It is vital that parents and school faculty prove to teens that drinking alcohol is a deadly problem, and it comes along with serious consequences. In a class-held survey, 93% of students agreed that they would be less likely to consume alcohol if there were harsher punishments for doing so.
I think the penalty as far as harshness needs to really come back on the parents, because parents too often want to be the friend of the student and of their child and not step up and be a parent, and so they should be also held accountable for what their kids do.
If I got caught drinking, my parents probably wouldn't do anything, like ground me for a week maybe, if that. So I'm really not that afraid to drink.
Among the students that were interviewed, it was obvious that when a child is held accountable or even punished for drinking, the likelihood that they will decide to drink is drastically lowered.
If my parents ever caught me drinking, they would take away my car, they would take away my phone, and I would never be able to leave the house again, and they would never trust me. So, for these reasons, it's too risky for me to drink.
Since teens spend half of their days in school, it is important that school faculty works together to create more serious consequences for consuming alcohol at school-held events.
Students drinking at sporting events, at dances, and at school. The consequences for coming to an event, for example, intoxicated or under the influence, is a 5-day suspension. One of the things, and it starts at 5-day. If other factors are involved, then it could go up to 10 days. But if a student chooses to go to Insight or another treatment center for an assessment, that consequence can be lessened to a 3-day suspension, and that is out of school.
Currently, participating in some sort of class to learn about the dangers of alcohol is an option for those who are caught drinking. My solution would be to make it a requirement. I also believe that by making the suspension days longer, along with adding a community service assignment, the number of alcohol incidents at school-held events is guaranteed to go down.
It was concluded that 89%.
Can you start over?
Okay, just underage drinking.
I will be 18 by the next voting, oh shoot.
Hi, I'm CJ Magyar.
As far as stats and statistics, I don't have those. Can you start over?
It is vital that parents and faculty,
Okay, I asked him, do you think it's fair that you can make the decision to fight for your country but not be able to consume alcohol?